Shaquan, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while. Things are going crazy up here.
I know. You grew up in the foster care system. Can you talk about that a little bit?
A lot of my experience with care, luckily for me, was bouncing between family members more than anything. And it wasn't always easy. A lot of back and forth battles between my mother and my grandmother as to who was more fit and who should have had me and my siblings. That's probably been a big point of distraction for me. A big point of focus for me because, it's hard for a little kid to be worrying about how to do his homework, if there's like a big arguing match or a screaming fight behind him. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of arguing, a lot of anger, and it kind of bled into me and who I became growing up and as an adolescent.
What do you mean by that?
Always kind of had an issue with anger and controlling myself or making proper decisions in the right moments. And it got me into a lot of trouble leading into my teen years. I used to get into a lot of fights, a lot of incidents in school with teachers and suspensions. And I never used it as a crutch, or I never looked back on it as this is why things happened. But I believe it definitely my home life had a big part to play in who I became as a person throughout my grade school years and teenage years.
Like me, you found athletics to sort of calm the seas, and now you're a mixed martial arts professional fighter. What does it take to do that?
When I first was brought into the MMA, world, it was through a family friend. He owns a gym. I was training at the MMA gym for a total of 2 weeks before I had my first fight. I showed up, first round TKO, and it went from there. After that, I fought amateur for maybe about 5 years before I finally went pro. It's very hard. It's very grueling and taxing on the body. It's a lifestyle. It really is. It's a whole lifestyle choice. You have to carry yourself a certain way. In the gym and out of the gym, you have to treat yourself a certain way.
How difficult is that? Because you've had some difficulty with structure and concentration.
A lot of the basis behind martial arts is to instill discipline. And I think I was very, very receptive to those ideas once I got involved.
In the past, you being locked somewhere, stuck someplace, wasn't really good.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about mental health and how you are sort of coping in this new world?
I keep it under control by spending time with my family. You know what I mean? They keep me busy. They keep me active. We try to go outside as much as we can. We take walks. Just try to keep it fresh. Do something you wouldn't do. Actually, I heard a song off a new album that came out a few weeks back, and it inspired me to learn how to play the guitar. So about a month ago, I picked up the guitar and I've been teaching myself how to play.
It's been 11 years since Camp Resilience in 2009.
Wow. Yeah. Geez. No, I didn't realize it's been that long.
It's
11 years. That made me 15. Yeah. It was a great experience. I remember driving out to New York City, hopping on the big coach bus with all the other kids. When we took the trip from New York City, drove all the way up to this camp. And then once we got there, it was just this big field with these cabins that were lined up in like a U shape on like this dirt track. And there were zip lines and it was like a lake. And I just remember it being like something almost like you see out of some type of like ABC show. I got into trouble. I had some good times. You know what I mean? I met new people. It was great. It was great to see and interact with a bunch of kids and even adults that were going through or had went through a lot of the same things that we had. I got to learn things about myself up there, and it was just good for all of people going through the same things, just being in one area and having a safe space to go to, because I know a lot of the kids, even at the time, my life outside of that camp beforehand was hectic. And when we got home, it was still hectic. So I remember it being a nice break that year and a nice vacation.
What would you say to the kid who sort of started out where you were, foster care?
You got to believe in yourself. And even that kind of sounds generic and cliche, but at the end of the day, sometimes it really is just you laying in that bed alone, and it feels like you are the only one who knows what you're going through. You're the only person in the world. Everyone else is living some type of outside grand life that you're just not a part of, you don't have access to. Don't be afraid to reach out for help, because I spent a lot of years trying to do it alone. And I would tell people now, who are feeling alone or feeling like their life's not going anywhere, they don't matter, start believing in you.
I like to tell kids that someone cried before you, someone suffered before you, but the most important thing is somebody survived before you. My hope is that it gives people incentive to say, well, if he could do it, so could I. And this may sound cliche, but I'm really proud of the person that you are. I see you as a person who could help take care of many more people just by being true to yourself and doing the best at what you do. And I really thank you for taking the time for doing this and sitting and talking to me. And if there's anything, I think that you can reach out to me. I might not always have the answers, but I'll try.
We can try together. Yeah, we try together.